I don't know what happened. It just kind of happened. Um, I do know what happened. Um, Last night, going to bed, my body was angry at me, so I got a little sick uh, and was pretty sore for a good chunk of the night. But uh, I snacked on something to comfort myself, which is part of what made me sick after I spent an hour trying to fall asleep in moderate amount of pain. But I got up today and proceeded to perpetuate the cycle of snacking on things that aren't good for me, but I enjoyed them. And happened across a post by one of my friends, and she was on. She used to be a housemate of mine. We used to share a place, and she was posting how, for once in the whole wide world, Facebook ads had actually recommended something that was of interest to her, and she accidentally clicked away from it before she could check it out, and it was for a web comic. She was desperately looking to find out where that web comic was and what it was called because she couldn't remember its name. She gave some information about what it was about. And I said, "Oh, I'll be a helpful friend. I'll go see if I can find it." Well, I found a couple that meet her description, but they weren't what she was looking for. She eventually found hers. And when I, said, "Are these the ones you're looking for?" She goes, "No, I found mine, but one of the ones I found for her, I was like, it does look a little unusual. Let me take a look at it." So I went back and looked at it, and I lost a good chunk of my day in there. It was actually, it's really one of my, it's really, really good web comic. I may end up doing a review. I'll contact the artist first if they want to be, if they don't mind me posting about their web comic. That's fine. I'm a small YouTuber. It doesn't probably benefit them in any way, but um, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Um, but part of that was uh, a few hours worth of reading the back archive and alternating that with a few intermissions of eating things that really aren't good for me. I did record them as taste tests for my channel, though, so I was sort of doing work. I'm really behind, but every now and then I think it's important to take a day to enjoy things. I do admit I feel a little guilty. I feel guilty, like there were things I should have been doing today. There are things I could have been doing, I would have enjoyed doing, and felt accomplished in having done, but I didn't do them. And I think for the most part, the thing I feel most guilty about is that I don't feel more guilty about having done that. I really, I really should have just been doing the work that I should have been doing. And I enjoyed what I did today. I enjoyed some new interesting tastes, had some junk food, read an interesting story with some great artwork, and just relaxed. It was kind of nice. And I should feel bad that I didn't get more done, but I don't feel bad that I didn't get anything done. I feel bad that I don't feel bad. How's that for a meta argument? Uh, but yep. So I sort of squandered a day. I kind of enjoyed doing it. There's still time left in the day. I may go back and work on some few things at the end of the day here. For whatever reason, it seems like my most productive chunk of day is the end of the day. Don't know why. I think it's just harder to get myself ramped up during the early part of my day, and then it always feels like as we get towards the end of the day, there's less and less time, and like I have to call it quits before I've really satisfied my need to do something. But yeah, it's a decent web comic. I guess I can mention it's called Avas Demon. But I'll give a full proper review on my channel as I recorded it and edited video later. But yeah, I really got into that. It's got some interactive elements, and they've got a few animated portions on it for like end chapters and stuff. It's got really good world building and really good art. Anyway, so yeah, not much to report tonight. Between being sick last night and squandering the day to day. Well, I didn't squander it. I I sort of had a day off, and part of that was hanging out and chit chatting with a friend for an hour or so. Still need to figure out where I'm going to stay when I'm in Oahu. And that time is rapidly approaching, so I do need to send some of those emails tonight too. But the last bit I've been doing with the video game was mainly just kind of figuring out, like, I'm still working on the zombie one, but like that one was that started with write the story, and then figure out how to make the game. Like, and that's definitely one way of making a game. One of the other ways is find out what a game engine does well, and then just make some game that fits those terms. And that's the faster way to make a game. So naturally, it's not the one I chose. um, such is my way of doing things. Um, but I've been thinking about a few of the other things I want to do on my channel. My plans for Views Day nights. So the movies that I usually do, um, like the Marvel movies, are the ones I'm working on right now. But I'm quickly coming to the end of that list. My next one for that series is Thor Ragnarok, and then Ant-Man and Wasp. And I have to see Captain Marvel, but I won't be able to live react to that. So I'm wondering if it makes sense to wait till I can get that to live react it, but probably not. I may just do it as a movie review. I recorded it an edited movie review on my channel. And then I could do Spider-Man Homecoming. It's a little more expensive, but I might do that. But my original plan was to do the Marvel movies from start of New Year all the way to the release of the new Avengers movie, which is in April 26th, or within that first couple of weeks after its release, going to see it. But if my last movie that I can watch live on here ends on the 11th or 12th of March, I have a gap to fill. And so I could do the X-Men movies, but they're not really part of the cinematic universe. Like, I've seen X-Men 1 and X-Men 2. I did not watch X-Men 3, did not see First Class, did not see Days of Future Past or X-Men Apocalypse. And so I could watch those. But they also have the Marvel TV programs. I did see the first season of Daredevil, but pretty much past that, I haven't seen any of the others. And I got to wondering if I could do a series of binge watches of those series and catch up on them, because there's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders, The Punisher. I think there's Cloak and Dagger, The Runaways. I think there might be one or two other series too that I'm not remembering. And I could catch up on those and watch those. I'll have to. I mean, I got to figure it out some way or another. I thought about like I could do a Monday Marvel binge day where I watch like a boatload of hours, like a Monday night, a whole Monday of like 13 hours of TV series. And so, like Marvel Monday, 13 hours straight of live broadcast and reaction to watching Marvel movies or Marvel TV series. That seems like a lot of work. And I don't imagine anybody's going to jump in 12 hours into a 13-hour watch fest. So I don't know that that makes sense. But one of the other ones I had was like uh, maybe 2 hours a day every day from March 12th to the May 6th would get me every one of the episodes of the TV series watched. That also seems like an awful lot of work. 2 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day for a month and a half. No, it's almost 2 months. That's a lot of TV. That's a lot of TV watching. Um, but I do kind of want to catch up on some of that, especially because I think Netflix is removing them or canceling them at least, and I feel like I've neglected them. I saw the first season of Daredevil. I kind of dug that. Honestly, I like the black costume better than the red costume, and the whole first season was him in the black costume, and I really like that. Um, so I've been trying to figure out what makes the most sense to proceed with that, and thinking a little bit about these next coming weeks of summarizing what I've done so far and finishing up some of the projects in early March while I'm traveling, and what I'll do for updates while I'm traveling. They're probably going to be short ones because I don't know that I'll always be able to do an easily accessible update video. I have to figure out where I'm going to be on those days. All right, and then thinking about the videos for the different material play buttons. Thinking about set changes so I can do the green screens behind me and channel art and all that stuff since last night. And like really seeing about stepping up some of what I'm doing here. But it adds a whole boatload of work because this channel alone is turning into 3 to 5 hours of work. Well, usually about 3 hours of work a day for this channel. And there's about 2 to 3 hours a day for the other channel. And that's being as bad as I am with my social media. So like the Facebook and the Twitter pages for them, I need to be better at that. I need to figure out how to do that better. And then there is a feature that allows sort of like a like a command central that lets you set up managing each of those accounts, and do it all from the pilot seat. So you sit down for 45 minutes and set up the day's to-do lists on all social media, and it should take care of it. I researched and learned about all that and figured some of that out and said, oh, I'll get to that in a little bit. And then I proceeded to tuck it away somewhere. I can't remember where I tucked that whole plan away. So I got to dig that up, figure that out so I can manage my channels better and my content. Because I want to get better at this. Like, I don't want to do it as a. It's a lie to say I don't want to do it as a business, but I don't want to do it as a business is business. I want to be in the market of uh, not doing this to make money. I would love to have this be my job, but not be a means of becoming famous or wealthy. That's never been my goal. Um, I want to build a community of people that work together and support each other and create things together. So, um, sort of almost like a volunteer level thing, but it'd be great to volunteer on a thing, but it'd also be great to have food each week. So I got to figure out how to make it self-supporting at least. Um, and part of that is devoting the hours each day to do them right and not feeling like a schmuck for making it a job. Like I don't want to feel like those delusional people who think that just because they like music doesn't mean you're going to be able to make it as a professional musician. And just because you're good at basketball doesn't mean you're going to be a famous basketball player. That's not my goal. I don't want to do those things. I don't want to be those things. I don't want to be a famous YouTuber. Actually, the idea of it scares the crap out of me. But I do want to interact with and share experiences with other creative people, support each other, and just create an environment through which more creative things can come into the world and have it be something I can sustainably do. And it's like I have fun doing these videos. I have fun making the things that I've been making since New Year's, and I want that to be a sustainable part of my life. Because in the end, I'm not going to remember, like, on my last day on this planet, I'm not going to remember, oh, remember that day you made $20 more than usual, and, cutting food for the salad bar? Like, that's not going to be my most famously well remembered day. And, I'm not going to fondly look back on the days that I washed dishes at a local kitchen. Um, the things I'm going to remember were the things I created, the people I was, supporting, the chance opportunities that my existence helped others grow into something new, explore something or find something they loved in their life. Those are going to be the things that are most important to me. And I want my life to be as many of those kinds of moments as I can get out of them. And if I can find a way to make that my business so that it maximizes my ability to do that with whatever I've got left of my life, then I want to do that. And I really do think that some of what I do with this channel and the other channel could be the potential means of achieving that. So I got to figure that out. And I know some of the ways that that kind of stuff is done, but so much of it is like the marketing and the social, I almost want to call it manipulation that capitalist systems use. And I don't have any problem with capital. I understand how economic systems work. And work is an important aspect of that. And controlling the systems that produce things is an important part of that. And societies that specialize in aspects so that the farmer produces food for more than himself, so that the food they give to other people allows engineers to create things that make the farmer's job more easy and therefore allow them to support each other in creating more and interesting things that raise the value of each of their lives. That's how systems work. And you get that because some people are able to overachieve in certain areas and exchange their goods and or services with others in exchange for goods and or services that they need. That's I get all that. And I also understand enough about sociology and psychology about how those systems work and how you can use them. But there is sort of a sticky wicket for me where, like, using systems in the way that both parties benefit is my goal, and that's using the systems, not using people. And so much of modern marketing is using people to benefit yourself. And I don't want to do that. And so I'm chronically looking at all the mechanisms that people put in place for, um, what do they call it, influencer careers. I don't want to do that. I don't want that to be what I do. I'm not begrudging anybody who does that for their way of life. It's not for me to judge that. I just can't make myself comfortable with doing that myself. So everything that's out there for doing this kind of thing, I have to look at, break apart, and find a way to adapt it to a sustainable, mutually beneficial system. And it's harder work than I thought I'd have to go through for everything that I'm doing. I don't know if that's clear. I think I'm sort of rambling and getting melodramatic about some of it. It's not that big a deal, but I have to figure out the right way to do this for what I want to do. And I'm also the other thing that popped into my feed recently was I found a channel. I I occasionally watch some of those. I don't want to call them self help, but um, there's a whole lot of that like hustle guru kind of entrepreneur, self-titled entrepreneur kind of stuff going on out there these days, where everybody imagines that they're going to be the next Steve Jobs or Facebook founder or whatever. And there's a lot of snake oil sales kind of stuff that goes into that kind of thing. And I occasionally look in on some of that just because I understand some of the principles at play in some of those things, and there's sometimes a good kernel hidden behind all the manure. And so I found this one guy the other day that was doing these creative challenges uh, to find ways to grow his sustainability in his environment. Let's sort of put it that way. It's still heavily economically focused. It's very capitalist, and some questionable legality of some of the things he's doing to earn a buck. Um, so I was looking at some of those. I'm like, well, I mean, to each their own. It's trying to be accepting of some, and then like, oh, like some of this doesn't make sense. Like, there's some heavy details being missed here. And then, sure enough, there's a couple people out there who said, like, oh yeah, he's scamming people. He's Most of these videos are lies. And then when you really look through it, and when he finally got caught out doing that, it was like, oh no, it's not like he's faking this reaction to this project he did. Like he he sits down and goes, "Oh look, I this succeeded with this much to it," and like so on and so forth. And like no, like legitimately, he did a project where like one example of a thing he did said he goes like, "Oh yeah, I just did 5 hours of busting my butt working hard in this kitchen to do this thing to achieve this, idea for this one day pop up business thing." And then, like, in an apology video where he details like the different things that he did, like that one alone is one of like 20 different lines where he says like, okay, I actually only did about half an hour work and I made like 12 bucks. So when I said I did 5 hours of work from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. or whatever and made 350 bucks, I was just extrapolating out how much I made in that half hour to that full 5 hours if I had done it. Like, oh my, like, and every one of these videos he did about how easy it is if you just apply yourself to do these things, it is to make like $100 a day or something like that. Like he lied about everything. And I'm like, oh my, I mean, like, this is nuts. I was like, holy cow. And like, like, I don't know how you get that bad. Like, it, a lot of people in the comments were saying, well, like, he was just, and I don't think they read because it was just a brief blip that he scrolled by about all the admissions he made, but he did it in such a way that some of it gets covered and is like hard to like he can say he admitted it and tried to clarify things, but in a way that you blink and you missed it. It's sort of like putting in the back page of a magazine the truth about a story you fabricated in a previous issue of a magazine. And I was just like, hmm. But so it's just like I don't think they realize how much of a scam he was pulling. And like they're oftentimes saying like, oh, he got caught up in trying to produce entertaining content. I'm like, no, you don't do 15 different videos and in each one say that you made $320 that day through applying yourself for 5 to 7 hours of work when you did half an hour of goofing around and just imagined what that goofing around might look like if you made actual money from people other than your friends for that half hour. And like some of them legitimately he just full on fabricated. And he's pitching it as like advice on how you could be successful too. I was like, that's not the same thing as getting caught up in producing entertainment, but it is also one of those things that makes me acutely aware of how toxic creating things on YouTube can become. And I don't ever want to be one of those. Pretty sure I don't have much chance because I would feel slimy even trying to pretend to that level. Like I'm telling you, today, I didn't work on the video game stuff in the last several hours of today. I got sidetracked. My life stepped in the way. I'm behind where I wanted to be. It happens. I'm not going to pretend I made 3 hours of content that I haven't made today. I I'm not going to pretend that I've been busting my butt today. No, I ate M&Ms, I drank Diet Coke, and I read a web comic. That's what I did. Well, and I spent a couple hours chatting with a friend. That's what I did today. It was sort of a day off, an unplanned day off that happened on a day where I feel like I should have been doing work. I feel kind of bad about it, but not overly much. um, I'm going to be honest about that. Um, but yeah, I just like it makes me nervous that there is an aspect of YouTube. You see the pressure hit people who become successful, and they feel like they have to commit a huge chunk of their life to it, and it kind of consumes them. And I'm scared of that. But I think as long as I keep in mind that I'm doing this not not wanting to be that kind of marketing capitalist YouTuber. I'm doing this to enjoy creating, inspire others to create, helping others create, and hoping that somewhere in the huge mess of creative playing together, something is created in the world that we can be proud of in general. Like, that's my goal. Like, if I never make a penny from this, it'd suck because it's putting in some cases, 6 hours of work a day to not get any coverage for my effort. But I would much rather have people take an idea that I generate, or people give me an idea where I can write a book, or they can make a movie, or we can do artwork together and challenge each other and have fun doing that. I would much rather have those things exist in the world than make a buck from it. I just need to find a sustainable way to do that. That's a lot of rambling. Not sure it made a lot of sense, but considering I didn't do actual work today yet, I still got time in the day to pick up a little bit. But um, since I didn't do any actual work today, I don't have a lot to report on. So I think this is a short day, short post. But I felt I've been doing so well at the daily live updates that I should at least update and show up. I think the only day missing a day of a live, well, I mean, the mukbangs were pre-recorded and posted, and I was present for most of the uploads of them. But I think the only day missing a piece was the day we had the power outage that killed my live stream before I got it really going. So, like, that's the only, and that's not my fault. But it still sort of rankles a little bit that my perfect record of every day this year has already been hit once. That's a thing I can't do anything about. He was doing so good. All right, well, I guess that's the end of the day. Hopefully in the next week I'll have at least something that I can show or demonstrate. I don't know. I don't know yet how I'll demonstrate the things I've made on the computer. There's got to be a way to do that. I'll think about it. Is there a way to switch cameras on this? I gotta figure that out. Like, while I'm live, is there a way to do that? Participants, toggle timestamps. Pop out chat, no. Live chat versus, still haven't got that one figured out yet. Top chat versus live chat. Because once it was stuck on top chat, and it still defaults to that for some reason. And top chat didn't show anything, and that's why I missed first interactions on the chat before. Live chat made those appear, but there was one point where I was doing this, and comments appeared in top chat, not live chat. So periodically I flip back and forth just to check them. But like, there's a microphone button down at the bottom. Does that mute me? And then, what does this one do? I'm afraid to push that one. It's a arrow. I don't know what that does. How does that do? Is that volume control? I think that's volume control. There's a series of dots, a microphone, and crooked arrow, and then end stream. There's emojis. I'm going to play with emojis for a second. You froze there for a second. I might be putting a little too much strain on my laptop. Okay, so emojis, playing with emojis, goofing around, and go. All right, so that's that. Go back to keyboard. Okay, so it is what it is. I think the microphone turns it off, so it mutes it. So the dot bar disappears. That's got to be the volume indicator. Does it get louder on the mic? No, I can't see it. Are there any other features that are hiding in live that I'm not aware of? I think that's just post button, right? No, that's just the post button. Push, pop out chat. Pop up blocked. Okay, so I've already got that blocked, so I can't do that anyway. Participants. So I see 55 Ramius. So back out from that. And then toggle timestamps. Like that doesn't tell me anything useful, does it? That's mainly just for chat, I think. Is the video gone? Did I disappear? Yeah. All right. So, okay. So I may end up closing this out right now if I hit this button, but I'm going to see what this does. It's the little arcing arrow. Let's find out what it does. If this closes it out for the evening, good night. If it doesn't, we'll find out what it is. Oh, that's share it live while it's happening. It's a share button. Okay, so I can share live to Facebook, Twitter, G Plus. Is it Blogger? Is that what that is? Yeah, Blogger. I didn't know Blogger was still around. I have an old account on Blogger that I haven't touched in probably 5 years, more than that. Reddit, Tumblr, Pinterest. That's Cyrillic letters. I have no idea what that is. LinkedIn, Mix, and email. Huh. That's weird. Okay, so I don't know. I could probably share. So I could share my live videos too. That would be handy for my handling my Facebook and Twitter accounts. So I don't have to manually enter the videos later. Well, we're learning something tonight at least. It's not working on the video game like I should be, but I'm learning. Am I still gone for you, or am I back? You can see what I'm doing right now, right? Let's see what top chat says. Top chat, yeah. I see comment. but no video. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Learn more. Now you're going to pull up a separate page, which that's going to be weird. Content, personal information control, privacy, introduction to live streaming, create a live stream, choose ingestion settings. That's an interesting way of phrasing that. Set up your live stream encoder. Video is still missing. Huh. That's weird. So it's at 42:59 right now. And the timer's still running, so it says it's recording. But it does say you are no longer watching. The watchers is down to 0 again. All right, so end there.